Hey there guys, it's Tina and I am back and I have a chatty video for you guys today. What I'm going to call a makeup and chat because I am getting ready doing this look because I want to film a video and I said, you know what, while I'm putting on the makeup for that video, let's go ahead and just film it and chat about a topic that I wanted to get your feedback on, and I also just wanted to talk it through with you guys. And from the title, you guys already know that we're talking about declutter culture here on YouTube and why I think it's toxic and I don't think people need to participate in it. So if you want to hear my thoughts and you want to see how I got this look, then stay tuned and I will talk to you guys soon. Hey there guys, so as usual I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. I don't know if I can film a video where I'm doing my makeup where I don't say that. I just cannot. So I'm gonna start out with some vitamin C serum. I just received a package from Derma E and this is their vitamin C concentrated serum with hyaluronic acid. So I like it, and it says you should use it with, you can use it alone or with your favorite moisturizer. Now there is a debate about hyaluronic acid. So it's been in tons of different skincare products. It's now included in your makeup, so like foundations and powders and everything, right? And people are saying that it can affect your skin if you don't apply a moisturizer. As far as I know, hyaluronic acid is kind of a humectant. It's meant to pull moisture to your skin and keep your skin moisturized, and it can be used topically and it can also be injected into the skin. You can take supplements with hyaluronic acid, and it's not an exfoliant like a BHA or AHA, even though acid is in its name. It's used for its moisturizing properties instead of its exfoliating properties, right? So the thing people have been saying is that if you don't pair it with a moisturizer, then it can dry your skin out, because instead of pulling moisture from your moisturizer, it's now gonna pull moisture from your skin and end up making your skin drier than it actually should be. But I'm like, then can't it pull moisture from the air? Why is it gotta pull moisture from a moisturizer, or pull it from your skin if there's not a moisturizer? But whatever, it pulls moisture in. So anyway, I am pairing it with a moisturizer. So this is from Sunday Riley. It's the Tidal Brightening Enzyme Water Cream. So I'm just gonna apply that and let that sink into my skin while we chat. Can we talk? Can we talk about some things? So in this makeup and chat, I want to talk about declutter culture here on YouTube and in the beauty community, and how to me it has a negative impact on how we approach our collections and how we approach other people's collections, and how we've been consuming beauty content and how we've been consuming makeup and creating this massive amount of waste because it's just an endless cycle of purchase and declutter, right? So I'm not gonna really talk about the makeup, but I will leave all the products used down below in the description box, and I'll probably still mention them. So I'm using my eyeshadow primer because I always have to use an eyeshadow primer because my lids are greasy. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about that. To me, the declutter culture started here on YouTube when the Kon Mari method became popular and the Netflix series was released, and there was a book and everything from the author Marie Kondo. So she developed this method of tidying up. So her book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and it's a bestseller. A lot of people have read the book. They've incorporated her method and her technique, and then on Netflix she now has the series. I think the series came much later than the actual book, but people were using her book and her website and her method of tidying up to now clean up their homes and declutter their homes pretty much, because the whole concept is you go through everything that you own in categories and you touch each and every piece. So it's not just going through like a drawer and pulling things out. No, you're supposed to pull everything out, lay it out where you can see everything, and then touch each and every item. And if it doesn't spark joy, then you get rid of it. And people have been using that as a way to clean up, and then it made its way into the beauty space here on YouTube, where we have just massive collections, like huge collections of makeup, which, to be fair, is not necessarily a good thing, okay? And it's interesting how when I started here on YouTube, people had simple collections. It wasn't anything too crazy, but then you had videos showcasing people's makeup collections, because of course makeup videos were this new phenomenon, because before you had to go in store, or you went over to your friend's house to play in makeup, or you used your mom's collection, or you went to a department store to get your makeup done. And if you wanted to truly learn about makeup, you had to go to these beauty counters, or you had to go to classes, or you had to read books. There were no true resources out there for you to learn about makeup. And once the internet kind of blew up and the technology evolved to where we had webcams and we could do videos, and even before that we were doing photos, but when you could finally do videos and see people teaching and showing techniques, that's when the beauty community really blew up, right? So then people got curious. Okay, show us what you have, show us your makeup. And makeup collections became a huge thing on YouTube, and it created this culture of the more the better, the bigger your collection the better. Like everybody was comparing this person's collection to this other person, and it was like, who has the most diverse, who has an entire collection of lipsticks from MAC, who has all the eyeshadows. That's what it became. And then instead of the community just sharing makeup tips, it now became hauls and collections and reviews and swatches of full collections. And beauty companies were now releasing more and more makeup, so it was like everybody was trying to catch them all like the Pokemon. And again, that created these massive collections, and people were trying to outdo each other. And then it was, how are you organizing it? Everybody went to IKEA and got the Alex drawer systems, because somebody discovered that that was a great way to organize your makeup. And then you had different containers that you could put things in, acrylic drawers. The whole thing blew up into just collecting makeup. And now we've seen a turn. It's kind of a 180 where, okay, we're oversaturated now. People are realizing the massive amounts of waste that that was creating, and that it was just taking over your space. Like right now, I have an actual room where I house my makeup and my beauty products. And honestly, even though it's ridiculous, and I can admit that it's ridiculous, it's still up to each person to determine like what's their hobby and what brings them joy. Because you have people who have sneaker collections, or you have people that are gamers that have a room dedicated to gaming, and they have specific chairs and headsets and microphones, and they have special controllers. Like they have everything dedicated to that hobby that brings them joy. So to me, even though it might be ridiculous to one person, it may really bring joy to someone else that enjoys collecting makeup. And let's be honest, we all know we don't need this makeup. We all know we don't need this much. That's not a secret. That's not something you have to tell me. So people started going around to these different collection videos and almost makeup shaming others. Like, oh, you don't need that much. Oh, you're wasting so much money on that. Oh, you could have used this towards something else. And my whole thing is, leave people alone, because nobody's judging you on what you're doing with your money and how you choose to spend your time and energy. So mind your business and let people have things. That was always my motto, like get out of people's business and go mind your own. Because there are people that smoke cigarettes, and I think it's ridiculous for you to be smoking a pack a day, but that's something that you do, and you know, do what you do, enjoy that. It's not good for your health, but you know, whatever. I'm not gonna come over there and be like, oh, cuss you out because you smoke. I mean, I really would like to, because don't do it, you know, cancer. Come on, don't fall prey to this. But that's not my business, you know what I mean? You gotta go through that process yourself and figure out if that's something you wanna continue with or you wanna give it up. Just like gamers, do what you do, collect your games, collect your sneakers, collect your sports cards, collect your postage stamps, collect your Barbies. Do what makes you happy. That is not my business, and I don't think it's anybody's business what you're doing. unless it's causing them pain and grief. And sometimes, and I do believe that some of these collections got out of hand where people were going into debt trying to amass these huge amounts of product just to showcase it on the internet to say they have a big collection. That, to me, yes, that is quite ridiculous. But regardless of what happened, we all ended up with these massive makeup collections. And I'm not gonna pretend that I didn't fall into that trap of over collecting products that, yeah, I love them and yeah, they brought me joy at some point, but it was just ridiculously excessive. So I admit that, I can accept that, but I had fun with it. I was not going into debt with it, but I had fun with it. I was not causing harm. I wasn't going into debt. Yes, I was overspending, but I would have found something else to spend on. So to me, I was enjoying it. It's a great hobby, and I have a YouTube channel. And you know, YouTube actually played into that too, because I felt like I had to keep up with the Joneses and get the next new thing and always have the newest, latest palettes and the newest foundation. I gotta test everything and I gotta review it and all this stuff. Meanwhile, I really didn't need all of that, and we've already discussed, none of us need all this makeup, but I wanted it and I kept collecting it. So now we got to this pinnacle, this climax where people realized we just had too much. And then enter Miss Kondo and her art of decluttering, and then the turn of the tides happened where people were now trying to be minimalists and trying to have minimalist collections. And that actually was popular on YouTube for a while, where people were showcasing their minimalist collection and really trying to have the smallest collections ever, and that was getting a lot of views and a lot of traction here on YouTube. But I think more than that, people started following the Marie Kondo method and started decluttering. I don't know who did the first declutter video or who decided that was what they were gonna call it. Does Marie Kondo call it decluttering, or she just calls it tidying up? I don't know. But whoever started with that phrase on YouTube, it took on a life of its own. It became a massive beast here on YouTube. Everybody started doing it. Everybody started getting rid of tons of products because they had too much and they had to follow the trend, because on YouTube, you are well aware that it's all about trends and doing the thing that's popular, because at the end of the day, people are trying to get views, and obviously they're going to do the videos that people want to see. And the viewers themselves were requesting these types of videos. Oh, we want to see a declutter. To this day, I still get requests to do declutter videos. And of course, I fell again into the trap of doing declutter videos. So I actually did do a couple of declutter series here on my channel. I decluttered quite a few products from my collection, and I did it in parts, and I was really just following along with everybody else and doing what I thought you guys wanted to see. And I even thought, yeah, maybe this is the thing for me. Maybe this is what I need to be doing, because again, people's opinions and trends on YouTube affect you. Even though we want to think we're free thinkers, at the end of the day, I watch YouTube videos. I am also influenced by what I see here on YouTube, and I'm going to actually just follow some of the trends, even though it might not be the fit for me. And after a while, I stopped doing declutter videos. I still get rid of products, you know, as I need to. I get rid of expired products. I get rid of products that I'm definitely not using, that I don't want in my collection, and I pass them on, or I have to get rid of them because, again, they're expired, or I just can't sanitize them to pass them on. And I do that now off camera, in the privacy of my own space, in my own time, and I don't feel pressured to do videos or create declutter content for you guys, because I do think it is a toxic space sometimes, depending on who you are, to get involved in. And I want to run through why I think it's toxic. Now, if you have watched declutter videos or you even watch pan-in videos, you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So there's another part that plays into the whole declutter culture, and that is the pan-in community. What I mean by pan-in is using up your products. So people are a part of a project pan community or pan-in community where they try to use as much of their products as possible and try to use them up. And they call it project pan-in because they consider like the actual act of using up your products as a project, and they will even use themes to get them motivated and going. Like I know one had to do with like the year, so 2019, use 19 products up in 2019. So people would use different themes to bond them and create like a micro community where they would get together and they're like, all right, we're gonna use up these 19 products or whatever. They would create themes and call them their projects and go through the products that they choose to go through. And people have also requested that I participate in project pans, and I'm like, no, that's not for me, because to me project panning is very restrictive. The premise is that you have a certain set of products and you use them up completely. So no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how you feel, no matter what you want to use this day, you're just focused on these set products. And to me that's very restrictive. And I don't like that feeling. I want to use what I want to use when I use it. And I don't want to focus on one product because I'm trying to use it up, because the other products are going to sit to the side and wait. So either way, I'm not using my products up. I'm not getting the value for my money, even though that's the intention, to use up your products and get the true value out of them, like to use them before they go bad, or don't declutter them, use them up instead. And to me, it's like, okay, I have 5 concealers. I'm gonna focus on using up one of the concealers, and that's all I'm gonna do. But the other 4 are sitting there, so they're still being wasted even though I'm using one. To me, I'd rather use all 5 and use different amounts of them just based on what I wanna do and how I'm feeling that day. And even if I don't use any of them up, or I end up using one up, at least I'm getting use out of everything. And that's why I don't think project panning is for me. I can't focus on one product because either way I'm still wasting the others, so it's no benefit to me. But that's just for me. Other people do see benefit because they have a smaller collection and they may have 1 or 2 or 3 concealers, and they're like, okay, I'm using up all my concealers before I buy another one. Which works out great for you if that's what you're doing, right? And again, everything has its pros and cons. So I could see some pros to panning, but there were not pros for me. So I didn't want to get involved in that whole space. To me, if I joined in, I would have just been muddying up the space because I didn't truly want to be involved in that arena. Like, that wasn't my thing. I am using the Too Faced, what is this called? The Natural Nudes palette. I'm just doing a wash of color over my lids. Nothing crazy. I am not trying to do an eyeshadow look or anything. I'm just setting the concealer that I use, which was the Pat McGrath concealer, and the shade I use is M21. Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. To me, that just wasn't my jam, and I didn't get involved in it even though people were asking me to. And that is again why I didn't get involved in the declutter culture, because to me, I did get involved a little bit, but that's why I backed away from it, because I was forcing it, and I feel that's where the toxicity comes in. People feel like they have to get rid of products because that's what you do, right? That's what Marie Kondo said, like, touch things, and if they don't bring joy or spark joy, then you have to get rid of it. And I'm like, how does that make sense? Like, I appreciate what you're trying to do, and if you live by that motto, then if it works for you, it works for you, good. But I don't see how that would work for me, because my spoons in my kitchen don't bring me joy. They don't spark joy, but guess what? I need them. I still use them. My toothpaste doesn't spark joy. My toothbrush doesn't spark joy, but you better believe I need to brush my teeth, because bad breath ain't sparking joy for nobody, so therefore I better get on it, right? So it just didn't make sense for me, and I didn't read the book and I didn't watch the series because I was just not interested in the approach. But if it worked for other people, good for you. But I feel like a lot of people got involved with the declutter community and the panning community, and it became like a sore spot for them. They felt like they were obligated to now get rid of products. Like, I've watched videos, declutter videos, where people are going through their products, right? And they're like, oh, I'm gonna film a declutter video for you guys because I am due a declutter. And I'm just like, why are you due a declutter? Like, what are you doing? Is this just a cycle where you collect, declutter, collect, declutter? Like, what are you learning from this? What are you gaining from this? Because it seems like you're just doing this because you think it's expected of you and you want to create content. Like, is this really benefiting you? Are you learning? And I can understand if you're a person who gets products sent to you all the time, like in PR, and you just have too much product that you're not using or you didn't purchase yourself. So okay, you're not buying it. But at the same time, if all you're doing is decluttering it, why don't you just stop accepting as much PR? You know, what are you truly learning? You buy, you get rid of, you receive, you get rid of, you use it one time, you get rid of it. And I know on YouTube, if you're a reviewer, you're going to accumulate a ton of product just by virtue of being a reviewer. And that to me is also a problem, you know? But in that case, I can see how people would have to do declutters over and over again. But I just don't see that that's a positive thing. You're creating so much waste because you feel like you have to have the newest thing and the latest and greatest just so you can create content, and then you create waste by decluttering, but you're still creating content because you can now do declutter videos. But why are you accumulating all these things when all you're gonna do is declutter it? I just find it a vicious and ugly cycle, and I wish it would just die down, or I just wish that we would find the lesson here and find a better way to handle all the products that are coming in, you know, while still staying relevant on YouTube and still creating content that people want to see. But how do you do that, you know? And then you have an audience that is pushing for that, and people are people pleasers at the end of the day, and they want to make their audience happy. And if I was one of those people who just did things based on what some of you guys wanted from me, I would feel the need to do declutter videos too, and I would feel the need to do panning videos, even though that didn't spark joy for me. Like, it wasn't a happy thing. Going through some of these declutter videos, you can see how these people are struggling. Like, they really don't want to get rid of their products, but they feel peer pressure and community pressure to participate in declutter culture. And I'm like, don't do it if it's bringing you pain, if you don't want to get rid of your products, but people are judging you because you're keeping all your products. Like, it's your collection. It's your space. If you want to have 50,000 palettes and build a fort and like have tea in the middle of the fort, then that's on you. Like, do what you need to do, boo. So you have people just participating in something because it's trendy, it's the thing to do, and it's paining them so much to get rid of their products. Like, they feel obligated to do it. And some of them, I don't know if you realize this, but some of them would secretly keep those products even though they said they were getting rid of them because they didn't truly want to get rid of them. And that to me is toxic. If you're forcing something, or it's giving you anxiety, or if it's making you feel bad to do it, then don't do it. Don't participate in it just because it's the thing to do. And that's why I stopped doing it. I was like, no, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to get rid of my products just because everybody's doing it and it feels like the thing to do. I was like, no, I don't want to. So I just started doing it offline, not filming it, because I still, like I said, get rid of products. Because when I filmed like my declutter videos and I didn't get rid of like a ton of products, I would get chastised in the comments like, oh, why'd you even call this a declutter video? You should have called it a collection video because you didn't even get rid of anything. And I'm like, yo, y'all need to back up y'all are not gonna force me to get rid of products simply because it makes for better content. Like, of course, if I have a video titled getting rid of half my collection, of course it's gonna bring in views because people are like, oh my god, she's getting rid of so much. It's almost like a sadistic joy in seeing people get rid of their products. And I'm like, oh my god, that is so terrible that that's what you're promoting and that's what you want people to do. Like, you want people to go through their products and get rid of all of it. Some people would probably be happy if people just threw everything the hell out and started over. And you don't care about how the person feels about doing that. Like, you're just like, entertain me, I'm here for content, do it. And if the people don't get rid of half the things, then, oh, you're not doing it right. Oh, you're not, don't call it a declutter video. Like, you're not getting rid of everything, then it's not a declutter video. And I'm like, yep, duly noted. This is why I will not do any more declutter videos. So if you ever requested declutter videos from me, or you've seen that I don't do declutter videos, that's why, because I'm not participating in that toxic culture. No one's gonna force me to get rid of my products. If I don't want to get rid of it, I'm not gonna get rid of it. You know why? My money, buy it. And therefore, if I don't feel, this is dry as hell, this needs to be decluttered. And that's the other thing. Why do you call it declutter? Like, why is it considered clutter? Like, I don't think my makeup collection is a clutter. It's very organized, it's very clean, it's very neat. I don't consider it clutter. Now, is there excess? Of course. Is it a little bit hoarding? Yeah, it sure is. But it's not invading my whole space. Like, I don't have things everywhere. Like, everything is neat and organized. And I am happy when I come in here. So I don't see it as clutter. So that's the other thing. Like, you guys make it, not you, like you specifically, but people make it seem like it's such a negative thing to have like extra things. Like, if you have one foundation, that's enough. Like, don't have any more. And it's like, yeah, well, what if I want to have 5 options? Leave me alone. Let me have things, you know? And I do know that over collecting can be a problem for some people, because some people are seriously going into debt to keep up with the Joneses. We know that, right? But at the same time, let people go through their process alone. Don't force it on them to go through declutters. I don't think it's a good space to be in. It doesn't feel good. And yeah, it's entertaining and it's like, wow, you're fascinated when people get rid of 100 palettes and you're like, wow, you had so much. But I don't know that that impact is worth it for them. I just don't feel like people should feel obligated to participate in something that they're not happy with. This is Oh My blush from MAC. It's a satin blush and it has like a reddish tone. Let's just blend that out. But people should not feel obligated, and I feel like that's what I was seeing. Like, a lot of the people that I watched, or I watch now, when I see them do declutter videos and they're going to these extremes, you can see that they're not happy doing it. Like, they're not doing it because they truly feel that they need to get rid of things. A lot of them, it seems like they're doing it because it's something that they have to do and they have to create content, so it's what they're doing. They're, you know, they feel obligated, and that can't be a good feeling. That can, ooh, Lord, that is very colorful. And I'll use Makeup Struggles as an example because I think she was the best example to me of somebody that really didn't want to declutter, but was doing it because people were telling her she needed to declutter. So she no longer makes videos. She has been off of YouTube, and she even privated or just removed her videos altogether. But she did a declutter video where she was getting rid of like eyeshadow palettes, which are her pride and joy. Like, she loves eyeshadow palettes. She collects them. So this is Desi and Katie highlighter from Dose of Colors. It's Chasing the Sun. It's the bronzy one. Oh, Jesus, that was a lot. Okay, nope. Wipe off my brush. She was going through her declutter, right? She was literally shaking in her video. Like, you could see her hands shaking because she, while she didn't need the product, or it was extra, or she wasn't using it, she really didn't want to get rid of it, but she thought she had to. And you could see, like, Makeup Struggles was the perfect name for her at that point, because she was really struggling with doing that video, and you could see that it wasn't bringing her joy to do it, and she felt like she had to do it. And that's when I realized, like, a lot of people are in the same mind frame. Like, they don't want to do it, but they're doing it because they feel like they have to. And I don't want to participate in that, okay? And I don't think anybody should have to participate in that. Oh, that's nice. Hey. Okay, bronzer. I don't think anybody should feel like they have to do it just because it's the thing to do. You know what I'm gonna use as a, no, that's not the right one. And I'm not saying that decluttering is all bad, but if you're going to declutter, ask yourself why you're doing it. Why are you doing it? Because you think you have to, people are saying that you have to, or do you genuinely want to get rid of some of the products? And if you really have a product that you don't want to let go, don't let it go. This is from Laura Mercier. It's the Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder in shade number 4. It's like a shimmery powder that gives like a little glow to the skin, but it's also deeper than my complexion, so it gives me a little bronze glow, and I love it. And I haven't been using it. See, if I decluttered it before because I wasn't using it, then I wouldn't have the joy of using it now. So ask yourself, why are you doing it? Is it truly for you? Do you need to do this? You know, don't get rid of products just because people tell you that, like, you should. Don't do it because you just think it's the in thing to do. Do what feels comfortable for you. And if you have to do that in the privacy of your own home, then do that for you. Don't do it on camera because you feel like, oh, it's content, I have to do this, I have to participate. No. Don't do that, because if it's affecting your peace of mind and your sanctity, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen to you. What do you guys think? Because we're finishing up right now. I am using this liquid lipstick, cream lip stain from Sephora, and it's the shade 25. It's like a terracotta orangey brown. So if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. Simple as that. Don't get involved in it just because everybody else is doing it. If it's for you and you're happy doing it, then do it. And also, what I was realizing is that people were now just buying extra product to fill the gaps after they decluttered. So they didn't truly want to get rid of the products that they got rid of, but they did it anyway, again, because they felt like they had to. Now they got rid of all the products, and instead of like living with what they had, they went out and purchased more product to fill the gaps that they feel like they made, or they went and repurchased the products again because now they're missing the products. And it ended up being a vicious cycle where people were buying, overbuying, over collecting, and then decluttering. And they did it all over again because people declutter, like they didn't learn the lesson. They just made space for more new products, and that's not exactly what it's meant to do. It's meant to simplify your collection, simplify your life, get rid of clutter, and then live with the minimal collection that you have, or the more refined, more curated collection that you have. And people aren't doing that, and I feel like people just get things now, put them in their collection, they gather dust, and then they declutter, and they keep doing it over and over again. So let me know what you guys think of declutter culture here on YouTube. Are you participating in it? Do you feel pressured to do it because everybody's doing it and that's what they tell you need to do? Are you doing the, oh, well, let it spark joy whole thing? How is that working out for you? Or do you just collect what you want to collect? It doesn't matter if it's 50 of the same thing. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy and you keep it. Or do you do a reasonable declutter, like you get rid of old products, or you get rid of products that definitely don't work for you? Like if you have oily skin and you have a dewy foundation, you know you won't use it, and you get rid of it. Like, what are you guys feeling out there? Like, tell me, feedback, let's talk about it, right? I am going to, again, leave all the products down below in the description box along with links on where you can pick them up. This is a really simple, easy look because I want to film another video. So I said, while I'm getting ready, let me go ahead and film it and just talk about the declutter culture, since I wanted to talk about it anyway. And yeah, I will leave links on where you can pick them up. If the links take you to Sephora Ulta and are provided with an asterisk, because I'm putting an asterisk next to my affiliate links, that means they're affiliate links, right? That means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through that link. It doesn't change the price of the product. It just gives me a sales commission for putting you on. So if you do shop through my links, thank you so much, because it does help me to put right back into the channel, and it does show like your support and appreciation. So thank you guys so much. But if you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss, because you know, you're still watching and still providing feedback, and I appreciate you guys. So thank you either way. And I will also leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, Snappy, where we can talk about other things too. Am I really that active? You know what? I am not that active, but you know, we still have fun, you know? And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye guys.